Good evening. Welcome to America's Third Party's Wasteful Wednesday.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk a little bit about some people think it's a waste with Social Security spending, and also how we're going to help with pensioners as people age, because
Right.
it's kind of scary. People are saying we could run out of Social Security for older people
True.
as they get older.
They say 2027. Many people are saying 2027 is the time at which Social Security will no longer pay out. It will be running in arrears. And printing money won't just fix the problem. So that's a serious crunch time, 2027. But as early as 2020, the old 2020 show, it
Even
could happen then. You never
right
know.
now in Detroit, with Detroit declaring bankruptcy, the big issue
Oh,
with
yeah.
Detroit declaring bankruptcy is the fact that all of the people that are in pensions who used to work for the city of Detroit are now going to have their pensions frozen, and so they're not going to have all that money. And that's a big issue that is going to court right now, that said, well, you can't seize their pensions. What should we?
We've been against public unions having extreme power, but we're not living in a black versus white world. We're not living in a cut and dry world. I think we have to find a gray area with public unions. They are going to have to accept smaller pension plans. I mean, $105,000 a year for a lifeguard who retires at 51 in California.
In California,
I mean,
yeah.
how can these states like California, and California is the biggest, with their CalPERS fund at $139 billion, they're not drawing from that money to help pay their debt back. Detroit won't have any money to pay its debt back, so there won't be very much money
Right.
for pensions.
Exactly. They're basically saying, well, if we don't declare bankruptcy, then they're going to default on their loans, and they think that could possibly be even worse.
Right.
So one of the things that I believe is that we have to think about, when I talk about the problem and solution, as I was talking about yesterday,
Right.
really the problem is, how do we care for the elderly? And in the
True,
past,
true.
and I said, I was talking yesterday saying basically our current administration just seems to throw money at all the problems that
Right,
are out there,
right.
and rather than try to find other solutions to the problem, they just think money is the answer to everything.
Exactly, and it's not helping anybody. The fact is, money itself is not the problem. Housing costs are the problem. Medicine costs. When a person's
Exactly.
dying, their medicine costs go up to $1,000 a month. And when I say dying, I mean your grandparents are going to be you ultimately, and we'll have to face up to the reality that anything's possible. So we have to get housing under control, prices for
Well,
housing,
if
and
we-
medicine costs under
Right.
control, and health care.
Instead of getting the costs under control, if they were to say, Detroit said, well, you know what, here's what we're going to do for pensioners.
Right.
We're going to offer you a state-of-the-art senior facility with water views overlooking the Great Lake, and you're going to have your medical care covered.
Right.
And we're going to actually it would be cheaper for them to hire a few nurses and a couple doctors.
It would, yeah.
And have a state-of-the-art facility for these seniors than to pay all these pension plans.
It would be a lot cheaper.
And
That's
they
the
say
thing.
that's
Great
an
idea.
option for
Great
them.
idea. The housing crisis can be solved with our homestead renewal plan. And if you're watching last night, you heard Sarah talk to everyone about the homestead renewal plan. We can incorporate in that plan apartments, condos, the possibility of gentrification for every area in the country where people are getting older. Now, 65% of the population will be over 65 by 2020. It's going to be huge. So we have that potential. One of the other questions that came up was Detroit's battle right now with the judge. Now, they're supposedly going to overturn this supposed bankruptcy, Chapter 9, possibilities of overturning based on a state law in Michigan. And the state law in Michigan says that you can't not pay pension plans out. So there's going to be a
Exactly.
battle royale between the Democrats, the hardcore public policy people, and the right-wing conservatives, fiscal conservatives, like the Tea Party people. There's going to be a definite crunch going on, and it's happening right now. Recent legislation just came in. This is off topic, but recent legislation just came in that did not pass the House. Effort to stop the NSA from watching all of us privately by certain members of the House, the Republicans especially. has stopped. It has gone nowhere, and apparently most people and most Republicans and Democrats in the House
So most
want the
legislators,
NSA to listen to us.
our legislators
Right.
want the NSA to
They
listen
want
to us.
our, and that's something unacceptable. That, I believe, a third party needs to galvanize together
Well, that's another weird
and
thing
stop
that
the NSA from watching everybody without any questions asked.
I wonder if there's a way
Yeah,
to
yeah,
defund
come on
it.
in. Come on in.
Well, shall I stop the recording?
No, continue on. I want to continue
then
on.
I'm going to leave.
Oh, you're going to take off. Okay, so Sarah's going to split for a
Thank you
second,
for-
folks.
For a half hour or so.
Yeah.
So thank you all for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow or whenever.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Come on in,
I'm
Connie.
devil's advocate because I'm a pensioner in
Connie,
Fairport.
yeah, Connie's my sister who's
I'm a pensioner and I'm devil's advocate, and if you
Hi,
take my
Connie.
pension away, you take my pension away, I want to go travel overseas. Where's my money to go and do that? I can't go on my cruises.
Right.
I can't go on my travels.
Yeah.
I mean, what do I do without a pension if I'm sitting in some facility that I'm being taken care of? Maybe I need care. I don't know.
well, not right now.
But that's
you're
the devil's advocate. Is what do those people do?
What are they going to do? Yeah, the reality is $700 to $900 to $1,200 a month. And I understand you said that the average pensioner, Social Security recipient, gets around $1,200 a month. Is that statistic?
That's what I read,
that you
but I
read?
don't have my source right
No,
now.
that's okay. But that makes sense. $1,200 a month. That's barely enough to survive, especially in an area like New York. I mean, can you imagine? That's like not even rent on a studio apartment in New York.
And
So
they
we have
say
a lot
in
of
6
concerns
years,
about that.
They're going to run out of pension in 6 years in New York City,
Right.
4 years in Chicago. This is what I just read the stats yesterday.
Yeah.
4 years in Chicago, 6 years in New York, and 2 to 3 to 4 years in other cities.
Right.
A lot of other cities.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen. And like I said earlier, the population is getting older. 65% of the population is going to be over 65 by 2020. It's going to be a major thing. The idea that old people can just be farmed out
And
is not exactly the right idea either, because we want to make sure benefits are there for people. that
and
paid
they're going
into
to
the
be
system.
single. They're going to be single, which means they don't have somebody to take care of them.
Right.
There's a lot of single people over 60. I know male and female, and they don't have anybody to take care of them who's going to pay for them, who's like a stable income that can
Right.
keep them, healthy.
No one's going to pay for
So
them.
what are all these poor single guys going to do without great ladies like me?
There you go. So there are going to be women like Connie looking for.
I don't want to be a nurse with a purse.
No, but seriously, you older guys are going to be looking for women as beautiful as Connie
It's
when you're
called
getting
a nurse-
older. And
a
I
nurse
know,
with a purse,
nurse with a
David.
purse. I know, you don't want to be a nurse with a purse. But the reality is a lot of hidden economy is going to happen. People are going to take care of their family members. And I urge all of you to do that. I took care of my mom and dad toward the end of their life. And I can tell you it's a rewarding feeling, and it will save you and your family a lot of money and our economy. So we have to start shifting gears as a nation and start thinking about our elderly. And you may be an elderly person
And what would
eventually.
my parents been without my brother?
Yeah.
Who in your family right now, if you're over 65, is going to care for you if your health goes down? Do you have
Right.
a son or daughter who's going to step in? I mean, that's a whole other issue. That's our health care issue.
Well, we're talking tonight about Wasteful Wednesday, and we
Oh.
talk about the government waste that's going on. Now, you've got the military-industrial complex, a massive drain on our economy. We spend more than all the other nations combined on our military.
Besides Israel. Israel's the other one. I looked at their
Really?
stats yesterday. Israel is really up there. In fact, they surpassed the U.S.
Really?
In,
Wow.
in being ready with whatever they need.
That's
Yeah.
interesting, yeah.
And yet here we are disarming Iran.
I think in per capita, in total, we top the dog. We're at over $800 billion a year for the military. The numbers are just not really there for reductions. And we aren't seeing the two parties reduce the cost of military. They've been very effective at keeping their cronies in Washington, the congressmen and women right now that are not making major choices that will lower our budget. Those are the people getting kickbacks from Lockheed Martin. They're the ones making money from Boeing, from Raytheon. They're the ones that go to the parties, and they're not about to cut the military budget. And then they want to cut, and this is what gets me about Republicans per se, is then they want to cut the social services that help the elderly. The Medicare, and of course we all know that Medicare Advantage had a major slash in the Obamacare plan. And Obamacare is on hold right now because Obamacare was never really checked for its ability to work.
And it just
An example of bad Democratic legislation.
Just what I heard yesterday from
Mm-hmm.
a man who said that he had studied the Obamacare code, not code, but it's in a huge, it's a lot of pages. and he said, just think opposite of all the things you've been told.
Mm-hmm.
He said, just think opposite of all you've been told. If you could keep your own doctor, that kind of thing, just
Yeah.
think opposite of that.
Yeah, opposite
And
that.
so,
Right.
once again, the public is lied to. We have a corrupt
I love that.
situation. What do we do with corruption at this point when we're not tired yet? I mean, we're just beginning to wake up.
Wow.
So we're going to pull together somehow, but we
We
don't
are
want-
waking up,
We don't
yes.
want unethical people in government.
We don't want unethical
We're
people.
trying so hard to get ethical people in government. It's just pathetic.
Okay, this is a great statement you just made. Think opposite to what we are told. I love that. I mean, that to me says it all. It gives you the chance to say, wait a second, we were told we have justice in our country. We were told we have rules, that we're all going to have due process. Wrong, wrong, wrong.
Can I give an example?
Sure, go ahead.
I was just at the pool and I was about to go in the water,
Yeah.
and the lifeguard, who does nothing during the day at all, just sits around and looks at his tan,
Mm-hmm.
he said to me, "Oh, you have to shower." And I go, "Oh, I must be dirty." He said, "No, you have to shower before going in." I said, "Where's the logic behind that?"
Yeah.
And he was speechless because there
Wow.
was no critical thinking.
No.
This is with our government. There's no critical thinking.
True.
People follow orders,
So
follow
true.
order after order, and I see it in
So
every
true.
aspect
No
of our
critical
lives.
thinking going on in
And
our
I
government.
teach that. That's
You're
what
right.
teachers teach, the good ones in school, is how do you critically think, should you do this or that way, this against that. But here was an example right there. The kid had nothing to say. He didn't know why I needed to shower to go in. And I don't even know why I have to go to shower to go in before I go in the water.
The thing that they want to do is make sure everyone does, has no body problems on there. It's a personal
I asked him if
hygiene
I was
issue.
dirty, and he said, "No, it's not that, ma'am."
It is a rule thing, and we are all living in a world where there are constant rules. But the question is, are we questioning rules? That's the thing. Are we questioning
You have to
rules?
question authority. You have to question authority. Don't believe everything you read and you hear. Do
Right.
your own research. You've got to.
Now, Israel does get money every year, Manny. You said $3 trillion. No, actually, they get about $3.5 billion a year in aid. That's something that goes on. Israel is definitely one of our biggest recipients of federal dollars overseas, foreign aid.
And they have the biggest homeless population on the planet. I was just reading that yesterday, that it's totally covered up by the Israeli government.
Right.
That on the streets of Israel, there's tent people popping up. Well, they did a whole demonstration a while back. But the homeless in Israel are much bigger than anybody has even told.
They are. In fact, I know a guy who left America about 10 years ago to go live in a kibbutz and loved it so much that he actually went ahead and became a landed immigrant in Israel and has been receiving $30,000 to $50,000 a year to live there. And guess where that money's coming from? It's coming from U.S. foreign aid to Israel. That's how they're financing this incredible
With our
immigration
small,
thing that they're doing.
With our
like we
small
have
workforce that we still have. We still
Right.
have a small workforce, don't we?
Well, there's supposedly a big base being built in Israel. Anyway, I'm digressing. Let's talk about more
Yeah,
about government
wasteful,
waste. But
wasteful.
here again, more bases, more military expenditures. Do we need 10 F-35s that don't even go into battle?
Well,
I mean, seriously.
aren't there 700 bases open around the world? Couldn't we close some of those bases?
Yeah, we could. We could
Then
lease
those
them
poor
out.
guys don't have jobs. I mean, then they come home and they look for work and there's no work. That's
Well,
the
there is
downside of
work.
that.
No, there is work. TSA. We don't need the TSA.
They're not going to work for TSA.
No, I'm saying we can phase the TSA out and bring the military in.
Oh.
That's what I'm suggesting.
Then they might have
And-
some respect for people. I
There
don't
you
know.
go, in plain clothes, so we could actually have a cost savings there. TSA is costing everybody a lot of money when we go flying. When you hit the airports, TSA is a huge expense.
Now they're going to charge for carry-ons. Did you hear that?
Oh, are they
They're
really?
going to start to charge for carry-ons. Yeah.
Wow.
That's your carry-on. You're supposed to be able to carry something on for
Charging
free
for carry-ons. This
Yeah.
is just getting too unreal.
because they're going through economic
So
hits.
tonight we touched a little bit about the military costs, the cost of Social Security, but what about the big ones? And I always like to talk about this on Wasteful Wednesday. The Department of Homeland Security, a government agency that it was created 12 years ago, that veritably is costing $72 billion a year.
And just propagating itself. It's just it's just growing and growing.
Growing
like
and growing,
like an
exactly.
amoeba is changing, shape.
So when are we going to stop that and deal with some of those issues? When are we going to start realizing that the Department of Homeland Security is costing too much? When are we going to get control over our government, folks? And that involves a third party, I'm sorry to say, because the two parties have failed miserably. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up the recording, and I want to thank you for coming in, Connie, and talking
Yeah.
here. And we'll talk more after
And
the show, actually.
you have to be active in your government because they are over you. They're lording over you, and they're the authority. You got to be active in making sure that they're ethical people.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Stay vigilant, everybody.